I've generated almost $200,000 over the past 2.5 years coaching just catchers online, and email has been a core strategy of how I actually do this. In this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what you should do if you are trying to build an online sports coaching business, and I'm gonna give you the exact blueprint of what I would do if I was working with you, so make sure that you follow along. First off, before we even get into the email, we need to make sure that our content is good, and one of the biggest issues on whether email will convert or not is if our coaching is clear. And so ultimately, everything comes back to knowing what your offer is, who you serve, what their problem is, what the path is that you're gonna use to help solve that problem. If you don't know that, it's gonna be really hard to convert through email. So this is really where the foundation of everything is. It's in your offer, it's in your actual coaching program, your courses, all that kind of stuff. You need to have that down first. If you want help, then I would go to 100ksportscoach.com/book or /checklist and grab one of those free resources. I have a bunch of trainings on there that will show you exactly how I would build that offer. Once we know what our core coaching offer is, then we need to go into what our content is. And from our content, we get into a lead magnet. And this is essentially the entry point into all of the stuff that we're gonna do with our email sequences. If someone never gives us their email address, then we can never email them. So we need to get them to give us their email address. And the way that we do that is through having lead magnets. Lead magnets are basically something valuable that you give away for free that they are willing to exchange their contact information in order to get. Okay, so I have a few of these for Catching Made Simple. I have the super simple guide to catching. I have the blocking checklist. I have the 7-day stance challenge. I have a bunch more too. And then ultimately what I did was I wrapped all of those up into one big free resource bundle. And so we're gonna talk exactly about this, but you have to understand that you can't have a good lead magnet unless you know what you are actually selling. And then if you don't know the problems that this person has, and you talk about those in the content, then no one is gonna even be aware of your lead magnet. All that being said, the email strategy is only as good as the business foundation itself. So with that being said, let's actually talk about what the email strategy looks like now that we kind of understand where it's at in the entire business as a whole. So I've been doing this for a little over 2 years now, and I'm really systematizing everything. Here's exactly what I'm starting to do. Off of these, right, these basically are lead magnets. They have their own little email sequence, but what I'm starting to do is I'm starting to make these one email sequence, okay? So meaning that if they get the super simple guide to catching, it would be one email that would deliver it. If they get the blocking checklist, it would be one email in the email sequence that would deliver it, and that would be it. And then what we're doing is then I'm splitting them, and I'm going AM, PM, and I'm enrolling them in 2 email sequences. So this would be some sort of, I'll call it an EEC, an educational email course. I got that from Dickie Bush and Nicholas Cole. I think that they're the best when it comes to the online space. I have listened to almost all of their stuff. They're great. So we got AM and PM, and then I go welcome sequence here. So basically how this works is on initial opt-in, they get delivered the free resource. And then after they get delivered the free resource, we enroll them in 2 different email sequences. And this is gonna be like probably 5 to 7 days, selling them on probably a challenge or a killers. Basically the way that I think about that is a challenge equals activity and a killer equals a gap. We're trying to expose the gap. And so if you have like 3 catching killers would be, you don't do this correctly. So I'm not asking them to do anything, but I'm trying to expose the gap so that they're like, oh man, this makes sense. I understand the gap there, and now he's telling me how to fix it. Okay, that makes sense. If I want help, I can get his help, right? The challenge is an action. So it's like, I want you to go do this. And what you're doing is before you ever are working with them, you're getting them making progress. You're giving them results in advance before they work with you. So then they're like, dude, this is awesome. Like, I'm already getting way better. I haven't even paid this guy any money. Imagine what would happen if I paid him money. I'm probably gonna get even way better. Well, yeah, that's exactly right. That's why I'm getting you results in advance so that you trust me. We go into the AM email sequence. I like to do this at 6 a.m. PST, and then I do like 3 p.m. for that. And this is like, you know, my story, and then some of like my top like long form YouTube posts, because I'm really trying to drive them to YouTube so that then they learn to trust me. Okay, so once we go here, then what I'm working with coaches on creating is then going into a 20 email sales sequence. We're gonna run through 20 emails that are specifically designed to get them to enroll in the coaching program, because the reason that most people don't enroll in coaching or into the program or whatever it is not because of money, but it's because of education. There's a few things that they don't quite understand, or they're not sure if it's gonna work with them. And so instead of just blaming it on the money, we're actually gonna explain all those things and then run through a series of sales emails as well. Then on the other end of that, I think the camera's at its end, so I'm gonna put it right underneath. At the other end of that, then we go into, I'm gonna just call it a series. And so series is ultimately gonna be long form themed videos. This would be drills, coaching vids. This could be a whole host of things, but essentially you want to think about, okay, what are my playlists on YouTube? How do I make a series that is going to nurture them through it? And so how I would do it is I would have an intro. It's like high level, hey, I'm super excited to share with you over the next 5 days my top 5 drill videos for catchers at home. Here's what you're going to see. Then you're going to see drill 1, drill 2, drill 3, drill 4, drill 5, and then a recap. And so you have a whole week right there. And then this gives you a great idea in terms of content strategy, so that if you don't have these, then you know what to go build in long form on YouTube. And then you put that into your email sequences so that they are constantly getting nurtured, getting value, getting pushed to your long form content. And that stuff gets more traffic over time. And then ultimately you want to have some more, you know, frequent up-to-date emails as well, maybe a newsletter, maybe some other stuff. It kind of depends on you at that point. But this is the email sequence and system that I'm using, that I'm working with my catchers. So if you want help implementing it, let me know and reach out. But if you like this video, then you'll definitely like this video, where I show you one simple trick that allows you to make an offer every single day with emails on autopilot.